Hello and welcome to Game Creators Vault. My name is Anders Howmann, and with us on the show today we have the hiring manager of Obsidian Entertainment, Jim Rivers.
Hello.
Nice to have you on the show. Obsidian has made games such as Alpha Protocol, Fallout New Vegas, and Dungeon Siege 3. So what are your main duties as a hiring manager?
I do a little bit of everything. I source candidates. So when one of the managers come up to me, or one of the leads, or one of the owners come up to me and say, "Hey, look, we need a gameplay programmer." So I post it up on the internet. I submit it out to all the different colleges and their alumni groups. Then I get to go through all of the candidates and weed out the ones that aren't quite up to what we need them to be, and then culminate them into one big pile and send them out to our teams and say, hey, look, these are the candidates I see that will fit for this. And then they review them and they say, okay, well, we want to test them. And so I do the test and I set up all the interviews and I set up all their travel. I also talk at colleges, I talk at conventions about career development and about how to get into our industry. Yeah, so that's just like one part of like a lot of the things that I do at the studio.
So while you're looking for a designer, what are the main things that they should have on their resume, and what are you looking for specifically?
With designers, designers were always like very interesting for me. I actually had to learn about like what we look for in a designer. Designers, I want people that have made games. With all the tools that are out there, like you can get Unreal, you can get UDK for free. I hear now you can get the Crysis engine for free. All the tools are out there to make games, and that's what we look for. We look for people that, you know, can take an idea like and move it from A to B to C to D, and keep the player intrigued, keep the player involved. I mean, those are the things we look for. I mean, even in a junior, that's what we look for, because we just want to see. We want to be able to see like. So say they have a couple of games on there, we want to see the progression of their skills as a designer on their ability to bring a player into the game. Okay. That's what we look for. Oh, well, also on their resumes and stuff, I want to see that they've tried different engines. I want to see that they have UDK, because that's industry standard. Like everybody has UDK or Unity or what's the other one? GEC. Or if you want to go back, I want to see people with Aurora experience. You know, that's always like, all right,
yeah,
this guy understands like where we're from. So, you know, those are the things I look for.
So you mentioned experience in a couple programs such as UDK and GEC, but how essential is a degree in game development when you know, I mean, is that what you really look for from a candidate?
It's not that it's essential. It's just good to have. Like I tell a lot of students all the time, like you could have a degree in eating paste as long as you can make a game, you know. And I mean, if you look at a lot of like in our studio, we have all sorts of degrees. We have environment degrees, we have lit degrees, we have English degrees. Just recently, over say the last 6 to 8 years, has game development degrees come into such a huge, you know. Because back in the day, when the industry started, there was no such thing as a game developer's degree. Okay, as a recruiter, it makes my life a lot easier, because back in the day, I would have to look at these guys or girls' resumes and kind of guess. Now I can just go, ooh, they're from SMU, or ooh, they're from Digipen, you know, and I know that they have a really good general grasp of game development. So yeah, I like to look for it. And plus a lot of these schools, they make their students work hard for it, and I like that. I like that a lot.
So you mentioned a couple game development universities. What colleges, in your opinion, have the best programs?
I really like SMU Guildhall a lot. We have several graduates from there. Digipen has a very, very solid program. I like FIA out in Florida. They have a solid program. For artists, I get a lot of artists from AI, Orange County, AI LA, AI San Diego. What's the other one? For our local universities, I have graduates from UCI, Cal State Fullerton, Chapman, Laguna Canyon of Art and Design. These are all like colleges that, what's the other one? Design Center in Pasadena. Amazing concept artists out of there. A lot of times, I don't always see it as the university that makes the student. I see it as the students. A lot of times we have a lot of colleges that don't really have a game-centric program, but the students work together as a team and develop games via their game developers club, or they get together as IGDA members, or they just do it in they get together as a group in their garage and they become indie developers. Mm-hmm. But they make games.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it didn't matter if they made games, if they had good ideas, we could go off that. But nowadays, with the market being the way it is, I want to see that you've gotten your hands dirty. Mm-hmm. You can tell me you're a designer, but unless I see that you've built a game, it's not going to happen.
So you mentioned that people need to get their hands dirty, really, for you to really want to look at them and hire them. How has the game development industry changed over time? It sounds like it's a lot harder to get a job in the industry. It's competitive. What do you look? I mean, in this environment, how has it changed?
It's changed considerably. With all the layoffs that have happened over the last couple of years, plus there being 50 plus colleges out there with game programs, I expect a lot out of our candidates. And there are some candidates that just stand out. There are some universities that don't have game programs at all, and we've gotten stand-up people out of it because that's what they wanted to be. We hired a guy that came from an ag school, and he's a programmer, and he's solid. He's gonna be a good developer in time. Our industry is changing completely not completely, but it's going to be changing a lot because we have the tech change is coming. The tech change, I remember the last time it happened, and it's going to be weird. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting and challenging, because a lot of times, we don't have people that fit that bill. Those jobs don't exist in our current workspace. Mm-hmm. Or nowadays, if you can't make games that look like the games that you're playing, then there's no point in it, because honestly, we need you to hit the ground running. So our industry is going to change a lot. It is going to keep changing. I had a friend of mine from the film industry was teasing us. She goes, oh, we can take our time. We're film. And I'm, well, we can't take our time. We're game. And we change constantly. Like our tools change. Our ability to make things look more and more real all the time. Eventually, we're going to be able to play stuff that looks like you're playing live. Yay! Can't wait. So, yes.
So you talked about a tech change. What's involved in that? What new programs are coming out? What's going to happen to the industry?
Well, a lot of the programs are still going to be the same. We're still having Max and Maya and XSI and Photoshop and Mudbox and ZBrush and all that. But what it is we have all the updates from Microsoft and Nintendo and Sony. The new consoles. And a lot of that is, we're going to push things farther, push things faster, higher, and hopefully, we as an industry can accept those challenges and take it and run with it. I like I said, I'm looking forward to the day that our games look like life. That'll be cool. But also I like, little cheesy cartoony games too. So, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, the tech change is coming, and it's going to be interesting because the people in our industry that keep updating their skills and keep updating their abilities are going to keep going. And the people that don't, they'll probably fall off to the wayside. And as sad as that sounds, it's just what happens.
So what's the process that you put a potential candidate through when you're thinking about hiring them?
When we go through the whole process of, I look at their resumes first, and then I weed out potentials to non-potentials. The weak. I go after, and then I submit them to the leads or the owners, and then they tell me which ones that they like, and if they like them, then they get the test. And I don't care if you're a programmer, artist, designer, producer, everybody gets tested, and some of the tests, they're all there to challenge you on every level. Our concept art test was super hard. I mean, I submitted, so many tests out, and we ended up only liking one out of 30 candidates that took the test, and it was crazy. And then, all right, so then they turn in their tests, and if we like them beyond that point, then we do a phone screen. Then we take a couple of the leads and one of the owners. They sit and they have a chat on the phone, because that eliminates taking 16 people out of production for a day to interview this candidate. Mm-hmm. So we like them on the phone screen. So now we get to the next part. And then our process is you get 1 to 5 sessions of 3 to 4 people each for a half hour at a time. So they get to interview you. So say you're a designer. Well, then you get interviewed by, say, your producers, then by your mid-level designers. Then they take you to lunch. And then after that, then you get hit with your lead designers or your senior designers. And that's usually the longest interview. Yeah. And I try to really hard as a hiring manager to try to weed out people that wouldn't fit, because when you have somebody who's a downer or somebody who's not happy, it's like a cancer, and it spreads, and you don't want that. You want your developers to enjoy what they're doing. You want your developers to grow, and you want your developers to learn to work together as a team, as a group. One of our guys was kind of joking about the fact that, we need to be hiring this and not hiring somebody that's fun to go out to lunch with, Yeah. But, if you're working with somebody for that long, you do want to have somebody that'd be fun to, mm-hmm. Hang out with, be friends with. Because, what we do is hard work. Mm-hmm. Not going to lie. If anybody believes that game development is all fun and games, it really isn't. It's a lot of hard work. But there's got to be, there's got to be some fun there. There's got to be our guys, they go to the gym together. They go out after work together. Yeah. And that's what we look for. That's what I want. I want people that are going to grow with the company. I want team players. I want people that are all about the greater good. That's what I want. That's what I want to have at the studio. That's what I want the studio to have. And I can see that when I walk through the studio. We get along. We enjoy each other's company most of the time. So.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Well, thanks for coming down today. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
For more videos, interviews, and articles on the game industry, be sure to check out Game Creators Vault at our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/GameCreatorsVault.